keep the Liberian public up to date on happenings in national government in all sectors. Today we have in our midst as our guest Mr. Abdullahi Kamara. Mr. Abdullahi Kamara, of course, is the chairperson of the Board of Commissioners, IT chairperson of the Board of Commissioners of the Liberia Telecommunications Authority. Mr. Kamara is flanked by IT Commissioner Patrick Ona. Of course, Patrick is a friend of the media who needs no introduction. They come here to talk about some very interesting issues surrounding the digital transformation. Digital transformation, as you know, forms a very cardinal part of the president's 100-day deliverable. And of course, last week, we climaxed the president 100 days in office, and a lot of initiatives were outlined in the statement delivered by the president. And what we at MICAT intend to do is to invite key actors from sector ministries and agencies that score very high mark as far as the president 100 day delivery is concerned. So they are here today, but before we invite the LTA to the podium, I would like to make a few remarks on behalf of the ministry and the government of Liberia. As you may be aware, the President, His Excellency Ambassador Joseph Imam-Waka and delegation departed the country on Friday of last week for Texas, the United States of America, to attend the U.S.-Africa Business Summit. While the President is in the States, we intend to keep the Liberian people and the media up to date on the President's itinerary and activities, meetings that the President is attending on behalf of our country. So yesterday, the President had the privilege of being at the MCC breakfast with the CEO Albert. The President also toured the George W. Bush Presidential Library. The President had bilateral conversation with the President of the Republic of Kosovo. He also had bilateral conversation with our own Ambassador Linda Thomas Greenfield. I say our own because she has very strong historical tie with Liberia. So on today, Tuesday, the President is expected to deliver opening remarks at the opening section of the U.S.-Africa Business Summit. The President will also be one of the panelists at the MCC Presidential Plenary. The President will also be at high-level dialogue of food industry, to trailing agro businesses. And then at the close of the day, the President will continue to ably represent the country, and I will work closely in line with the delegation. The Minister of Information is traveling with the President, the Presidential Press Secretary is also traveling. We intend to keep the public up to date. So excerpts or content of the President's statement at the opening session of the U.S.-Africa Business Summit will be provided to you members of the press as soon as possible. While the President is away, we witnessed prior to his departure from the country, the President signed the landmark Executive Order 131 establishing the Office of the War and Economic Crimes Court. That decision by the president has received warm felicitations from our international partners because that decision is in the right direction. So paramount among those commendations I will receive as a government is from the U.S. Embassy and the European Union mission in Liberia. They both commended the government of Liberia for Executive Order 131, establishing the Office of the War and Economic Crimes Court for Liberia, which was signed by the President. Both the EU and the United States welcomed the decision taken by the government and the legislature contributing to the implementation of the recommendation of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. This decision to establish the War and Economic Crimes Court is also a victory for justice and reconciliation. It brings to an end the culture of impunity that has long over our country. It's been 21 years since the Liberian Civil War ended. The question about war crime code has been lingering in the corridor of our body politics for 21 years. Government after government have intentionally politicized the establishment of the War and Economic Crimes Court. At some point, some of our friends who are today talking out loud in the opposition were carrying caskets at the various embassies around Monrovia, requesting sanctions from official government because they refused to establish a War and Economic Crimes Court. Contradictory, when they were given the mantle of authority to lead this country, they swept the establishment of the War and Economic Crimes Court under the carpet for reasons best known to themselves. Today, the country is blessed to have a president who said, I am not going to do business as usual. And that suggests that we have to depart from the spoil system. And so in the first 100 days of the administration, a remarkable executive order was signed. The question that has been lingering for 21 years has been answered in the first 100 days of the WAEC's presidency. So these commendations from our international partners are noteworthy, and we thought it was important to throw light on them. While the president is also away, on Friday of last week, a groundbreaking ceremony took place between the government of Liberia and the European Union for the construction and installation of two 33 kV electricity distribution networks. The project marks a significant leap forward in Liberia and in Liberia's energy development journey and symbolizes the European Union's commitment to assisting the Liberian government in providing reliable, accessible, and affordable electricity throughout Liberia. The president has consistently said that we cannot grow the Liberian economy in the absence of electricity. The government is doing tremendously well. The president, on his first visit outside the country, went to the Republic of Cote d'Ivoire, had bilateral conversation with his counterparts, and the megawatt that was supplied to Liberia, 25 megawatts, was increased to 50. The president has not just started, he's working with our international partners. This time around, this electricity expansion project will be across 3 major counties: Buchanan, Grand Bassa County, Greenville, Sando County, and Bagleyville, Greenwood County. So let me just give you a few synopses of what is in store for these counties. For example, Buchanan, approximately 12,054 customers will be connected with 825 LED street lights installed in the city streets of Buchanan. Greenville, over 4,344 households will be given electricity access. with 200 street lights installed along the volunteer meter transmission line route. Investment in the process. The projects are part of the EU Rural Electrification Program worth 42 million euros, which will benefit almost 50,000 people in Buchanan, Greenville, and Bakersfield. So progress has been made in just 100 days. All of these things are happening. This is government the Liberian people stood in long lines to vote for. This is government that inherited a country that was almost dysfunctional. This is a government that has a responsibility to rebrand a country that was considered an outcast by the international system just 4 months ago. With all of the progress that have been made, some of our friends are hell bent on distracting us. We listen to some of them saying, oh, they played our President Obama going in America, no African head of state going there. The records for these things are available to everybody. There are 5 distinguished head of states, along with President Obama, I attended the U.S. Africa Summit. Some of our other friends with the intention of deliberately distorting the facts. They said the presidential press secretary was denied visa by the U.S. embassy. Maybe they are the new visa counselor. The press secretary, Kola Ofana, is in the United States. As a matter of fact, she spoke to the people of Liberia. The WAEC this morning provided updates on the president's visit to the United States. We have to stop this thing, this crab mentality. This crab mentality that people see government as business as usual, can't grab and go, and when you don't have government job, you want the country to grow. Because it must be you at all costs. Maybe we'll propose a forum to invite somebody to ask them, what do they work for this country? Just 4 months ago, you were here. Why didn't you do what you want to do now? There's no vacancy in the executive mansion. We have a president who was elected for 6 years until that constitutional term expires. And the election commission announces vacancy for the presidency where we all can go apply when you reach a requirement. We will insist that we have an opportunity to govern the country. I was in despair. The Liberian people need to be revived. And the WAEC administration has no intention to deviate on that path. Without much ado, let me now invite to the podium the Honorable Chairperson of the Board of Commissioners of the Liberia Telecommunications Authority to make his presentation. Mr. Patrick Hona, Acting Commissioner Patrick Hona, we get the conversation started and the Commissioner will follow.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, colleagues. It's a great pleasure being here today. Mr. Minister, other ministers, the acting chairperson, invited guests. Let me say how pleased we are to be here today. I'd just like to make this brief announcement before I call on the acting chairperson of the Liberia Telecommunications Authority. So, the Liberian Telecommunications Authority has authorized Lone Star Cell and Enino to block a specific number that has been impersonating as Commerce Minister Amin Bodat soliciting funds. It is important that we emphasize this because we are in the process of launching a fraud dragnet, working with the MNOs to track people who are using numbers, registered numbers as a matter of fact, to defraud others. This request was based upon a complaint filed by Minister Modat to Lone Star MTN, and it sought authorization from the regulator, and the regulator is the Liberia Telecommunications Authority. We'd like to call on all Liberians moving forward. Many Liberians have complained about being defrauded. Their numbers or other numbers are being used. Random numbers sometimes are being used. Some of you may have been victims of this. I was a victim of this myself. So we'd like to call on all of you to report such cases, and we'll take the appropriate measure. Having said that, let me now invite the acting chairperson of the Liberia Telecommunications Authority, Mr. Abdullah Kamara, to come and talk to you about strides made with the digital process that the president launched. Kamara.
Mr. Minister, members of press. So I'm here today to give you an update with respect to the president's statement in his annual message earlier this year, that he promised that within the first 6 months of his administration, will be training up to 10,000 young Liberians in various digital skills training. LTA, along with the Minister of Youth and Sports and the Ministry of Education, have been working to achieve this. And LTA, being the most digital partner, is spearheading most of the activities. We have a project office in collaboration with the Ministry of Youth and Sports, Telecom, and Education. They are here to give a little bit more details on where we are specifically with some of the activities. Now, the training of the 10,000 people fall within a bigger program, and that is the digital transformation of Liberia. We all are aware that most of our young people, and even I would say my grandparents, my grandma, has a Facebook account. In other words, they have a phone that they're using. And sadly, most of us use these phones mainly for negative things, causing each other, posting fake news, and what have you on social media platforms. But this digital equipment can be used for a lot of other things that I will elaborate on in a minute. Additionally, we know that for young people that are outside of Monrovia, they have very restricted access to ICT facilities. So that's also part of this whole digital transformation that the government is embarking on. And on a digital transformation, we try to achieve a digital society where most of our young people and the olders alike can have easy access to relevant information for health information, education, agriculture, all the sectors you can think about. But it's also intended to build a digital economy that people are making transactions on the digital platforms. How many of you here know Shine? I think I asked last time. A lot of young people know Shine, but Shine is an outside entity, and we want to encourage people in Liberia to have similar websites where young people who, not only for social media purposes, but for business. And
I usually say that in many days somebody is looking for banana at red light, and at the end of the day there's no banana. But there's another woman somewhere in Douala Market. She has 5 banana that may spoil. So there's no digital platform that captures, those products where buyers and sellers can meet. So these are things we're trying to stimulate, and these are things we're trying to do to catch up with even Ghana, Nigeria, Rwanda, where the young people are actually driving economic development. The third one is e-government, where if we digitize most of our activities, all of us can have easy access to government services online. For example, how many agencies you go, they will ask you the same question all over. If you went to for your passport, they'll tell you go bring birth certificate. You go there, then the birth certificate people tell you, okay, who your man, who your pa, date of birth. You finish capturing that. Normally, it should be the end, right? But no, you go back to the same guy that told you foreign affairs to bring that information. You go there, and then they ask you, okay, who your man, who your pa, So e-government services will integrate most of those kind of things. So once you are recorded and captured in any of the primary databases of a Liberian institution, all the other institution has to do is to request online using your national ID number, if I should say that. So if you went for your driver license, you don't have to give any of the details. You plug in they plug in your number, they fetch your data, everything is already there, and they give you the service. And sometimes you may even request that service online. You wouldn't need to pick up a physical document. Just imagine you are in where? Harbor of woman, and you have to fetch or get a government service, but then you have to come to grow because almost everything is centralized. So these are some of the things with the digital transformation we are trying to achieve. The first step in that process that the president launched along with the digital migration is to train 10,000 youth. As I speak, since he launched on Wednesday, this is exactly 1 week ago, we have a little over 5,000 people that are registered. Wow. And this means there's progress being made and people are being following. And I want to make it clear that this project is way ahead of itself because they were supposed to be completed in 6 months as per the president's statement, but we're trying to make sure we are in compliance with some of the 100 days deliverables. So the website has been opened. The technicians will discuss that in details later on with your question and answers. And the purpose of the training, again, is to promote this digital economy, digital society, e-government, but to empower our young people also to be able to do some businesses. After the training, there's $250,000 seed funding available for those that will participate. You will compete along with several others with innovative ideas in that same space, right? Digital society and so forth. You come with good ideas, and if it's a good one based on the assessment of the panel, you'll be given seed money ranging from $1,000 to $5,000 to help as seed money to start up your business. Let's remember that most of the digital businesses is not expensive to set up, but it has really fast and high returns online. There's something called drop shipping, where most of the people there are online are making millions of dollars, but they do not have a factory and they have no store, They're only very smart in finding suppliers, creating the avenue for their community to use their platform to have access to those products and services, and the product is delivered. The project also includes massive media activity. So some of your media institutions also will benefit. And I can tell you also, those people that get their smartphone, doing their journalism business, also part of the training that we offer is digital marketing, how to present and sell your products and your services. We encourage some of you to take advantage. You know how to use your phone, but to use it as a business. That's very, very important. We'll have radio talk shows. I think Patrick will, from our end, will help us to coordinate and set up television shows, radio shows, to continue to educate people. Some of these things are not difficult. I always ask people who train you to use Facebook. Facebook is an elaborate tool. But if I ask you, nobody was taught or nobody went to a specific training course to use Facebook. Only the specific part of Facebook, if you want to learn, you probably have to ask someone, well, how do you do this, how do you do that? That's also digital skills. And so we will be offering a number of courses in that direction. And once the registration date closes, we'll start the training, which will be an intensive 2 weeks training throughout the country. There are sites all over Liberia. So people in different countries are encouraged to register, but you have to register online. That's the whole idea. We're going digital, so you have to start your registration process. Please don't come with a list. Yeah, and for the disabled community, Patrick has been pushing their line. We'll have a special process for that. We'll let the project, the technical team to know, and will communicate with the various groups in terms of how they can get involved in the process. We're getting private sectors involved, those training institutions that are offering training services, they'll be also involved. Those media platforms that have studios that are suitable to actually do this kind of presentation or lectures on the digital migration of skills training, will encourage them to make themselves available or do a request to the team so we can include you on our program. For now, with respect to the training, we'll start with digital marketing, e-commerce. That's a very, very low-hanging fruit. I just give an example. If the president said during the launch that by the end of this year, he wants significant number of payment financial transactions to be done digitally. It means for our young people, there's an opening, especially for those businesses that are not online yet. There's an opportunity to go and help them with their e-marketing, but also to help them to put their products online, to help them to be able to complete transactions, deliver goods. So a whole dynamic will be developed or will emerge from these exercises. Then we got digital surveys. Several times we have seen that around elections time or around some major events, surveys are done mainly by NGOs, go Ghana, other places, bring people, whereby there are tools, free tools available that you can download and you can do these surveys. So we want to train our people instead of them going outside now, they can look right in Liberia and get people to be involved. But not only that, you can also, as a young team or a young person, actually conduct quality survey using some of these tools, and you present the finding to industries, sectors, different groupings, that gave an idea and helped them in the decision making that data, and in our sector we say data is king. If you have good sets of data that companies can buy from you, that's another market, that's another opportunity that you will be having. So we're encouraging young people to be in that space, so they'll be training in that. And then there's something we call digital skills, that's a general thing with computer. Most of the training will be on your smartphone. There'll be a few that will do for I would say the whole system, the computer sets that you can use in various places. So some of the later on output will be a digital library. We've been talking about recently, me and my colleagues, to bring digital library throughout the country. You know, most of you here, you have easy access to just about limited data. People outside don't have that luxury, and sometimes not all of them have the smartphones. So want to be able to give access to the internet to those people outside of Monrovia, and this is why some of the digital library will be set up. But this is not a medium, immediate, short term, but it's medium term. We hopefully towards the end of the year we'll have a better picture of how we'll be implementing that. So technically, by the middle of by July, we'll be completed with the training component, and then by the end of July, we'll do the competition where people will compete for the seed money, and then we'll close this year's project, and then next year we initiate a new one. But digital transformation is a continuing process. So, very good. So we just have, from the LTA perspective, we are planning to do a lot of things. We just started this week the acting board, but we are very anxious to work. I see that from the energy with my colleagues. And there's a lot on our plates already from our first few conversations we had. We met the service providers last week, from internet service provider to the mobile operators. And we catalog some of their concerns that will push the sector forward. We're also trying to review the pricing mechanism. We try to understand some of the complaints that people are having with ourselves. Oh, my data finished too quickly. So these are things we have high on the agenda for our short-term and objectives. I think I'll stop there for now, and if you have specific questions for our technical team, you can do that. Thank you very much.
So he's Abdullah Kamara, the chairperson of the Liberia
While from the next question,
Telecommunications.
we commend the acting commissioner of the National Telecommunications Authority for that explicit presentation. While we are with the question, we just want to add that while the president was away, we witnessed the National Council sports meet final. And sports have always been an arena for unity, reconciliation for our country. It brings us together. So we like to commend all of the teams, regardless of the violent glitches that attended this year's edition of the continent. We do believe that the essence was never eroded. It's meant to unify our people, our country. And on that note, we'd like to congratulate the Lepers of River G for that overwhelming victory as winner of the National County Sports League football edition. We commend them and we wish them well. I mean, this should be a good example that for all Nigerians, regardless of our political differences, we can all come together at the historic Samuel Kanye Post Complex to cheer our respective team, and I saw my good friend Patrick crying. So, let me take the question. Thank you, Minister. So you take 3 or 4 at a time, right? Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Minister. My name is Maurice Woleti, and I work for OKFM. Like you already put it, I think we need a line of bank of them. Yeah. So, thank you so much, Mr. Camara, for your deliberation. But while you were presenting some of my colleagues from the Southeast, particularly Sino, they were concerned about, because you said we want digital. So they were concerned about the link that they were used to apply, and that's my concern. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm sorry, but still my opinion and report from James and to Commission Patrick Honey. I'm concerned about Minister Ademola. What is the possibility of the number to be duplicated? And when the minister realizes no being used for such, and why those that did not complain to him, but he did, because those that have all of the communication services. Two, I'm concerned about the decentralization of the data training. To the decentralization. The youth from Lima County, so Tapa, far don't have access to digital platforms or like phone. How would they benefit from the training?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ish Balogan, and I work for Punch FM and TV Line. I have one question to Minister Sano, and I need a little bit clarification from Commissioner Kamara. Minister Sano, according to the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, about of the 500 appointments made by President Joseph Boakai, only 75 of them have declared their asset. And of those 75 officials is inclusive of lawmakers. And the president, during his first presidential address, cautioned his officials been appointed to declare their asset. How worried is the government in relation to that? And also, Mr. Kamara, on April 16, when you addressed the media, you said, recruitment for the digital program has begun, wherein you said about 8,000 applicants have applied. And today, you are saying that since you launched the program a few weeks ago, applicants have been coming and have a link. And this link that was established, it has been around for a very long period prior to the launching of this program. And I'm a big concerned for you to provide this a big clarity in relation to the link. They say that the links that were already existing before the launch of the program are functional, or the ones that were recently launched. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Simona Mukulu, and I am from Sky FM. Mr. Kamara, thank you for the training, especially in this tech-savvy 21st century. But I'm concerned that many of our colleagues might be out there thinking about TV. What is it? What is it? Thank you. My name is Stephen. I was Mr. Stan, I'm concerned about information in the public regarding the travel of the president being told more than 25%, where we were all over 50%. Also, there were other delegates in America also who want to give such clarity. And regarding the issue of the LTA, you have not told us as to what available since you took over. What did you need? What did you expect to bring on board? What are those new plans? I mean, something new you have for plans for the LTA. Just anticipate that.
Thank you. Will you address it before the chair?
Okay. Thank you. So let me start with the part of raises confusion. So yes, we started the link much earlier with the registration process, and at the time there were the youth groups that were not involved in the process and that started to create some issues and concerns. So the 8,000 was the first link that we put up. So we have informed all those people in that 8,000 link to reapply through the new link. The new link that was released last week Wednesday when the president launched it. The new link is the one that raised up to 5,000 in just 1 week. So you can imagine, I think mostly the old people that are there and some additional new people. But we'll continue to reach out so we can miss out on the other people that raised up before. But we are actively engaged in them for that. You know, the youth group, we put out there all of this. This program is meant for them. With respect to rural Liberia, so there are two things. I'll leave that, maybe I'll tie it with some of the program. Okay, the criteria. So when you talk about the criteria, pretty much you just need to be youth between 15 and 35 years old to take part. And I said you should have a smartphone because it will be required for you to take part in the training. Did I miss out anything else? It's that simple, so it's not prohibited. It's the link, you will announce the link later on. They will announce the link and where you can find it. I think it can be found on Facebook and other places, but you will do that later on. The comparison. Okay, so with respect to rural Liberia, there's a big challenge right now throughout the country. We have more than 60% people online. 60% of the population is online. But sadly, when you look at the actual geographic demarcation, most of the people are out of coverage and they have to find coverage before they connect. Now, there is a new system coming up, which we have not licensed yet, which we are reviewing. Once we are able to review the process, we deem it necessary to allow such a service in Liberia, you will have probably up to 90% of the country covered. In that case, having access to internet service will be more common almost everywhere. But the reality right now is we rely heavily on Lone Star and Orange to bring connectivity to all of the counties. So the services we are offering, or I would say the training of the offer will be mostly in places that have population and that have access to data. And then as we go next year with universal access program, we'll include more and more people on the map to those areas. With respect to pooling of numbers, that's a fraudulent act that people do. They have all sorts of software that can mask number. It's not a real number, but they can mask it. The meaning, when I call you, I can use a software. I'll call you, and your phone will read that number differently, appear like somebody else's number, but the actual number on it is known by the operator, and they can arrest. They can arrest that situation. This is what happened in this case. It can be fun, but you just need to be diligent and also very alert. And you need to inform your network provider immediately so they can identify the people that call you, and they'll seek permission again from the LTA to block it. So this is how that number pooling thing works. There are different methods, but in this case, it's number pooling. Okay, so with respect to the The current status at the LTA, we, like I said, we just actually started active work this week. So we are cataloging everything as I speak. We are running from here straight to a retreat with our senior staff so they can give us update of where most of the things are. And I think starting next week or later on this month, we'll have a better picture of what we have on the ground, what we'll be working with. In the meantime, this morning we have engaged the World Bank, looking at what sort of support the sector needs to ensure that we can achieve this digital economy, the digital transformation, and the quality of service, also this pricing thing that we always having a conversation about. So those things are in place. We just had a meeting this morning, and there is a lot that we'll be doing. But in the meantime, we are cataloging, and I'm sure by the end of this month, we'll have a good picture that we'll share with the public on how we'll proceed with that. Thank you very, very much. You want in the meantime, on the link? On the link.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Onye Mohamed Zawi, and I first want to say thanks to the President for giving the young people this opportunity in the first 60 days or 6 months of his term. And also thanks to our Honorable Acting Chair for selecting me to help with this process and also a beneficiary of this entire program. So thanks again for the link, for those who had that question. Our Facebook, we do have a Facebook page, which is Liberia Digital Transformation. And anyone willing to fill this form can also find us there. You can find more details about the entire digital transformation process. The link is www.liberiagoesdigital.org. Again, www.liberiagoesdigital.org. And the Facebook link again is Liberia Digital Transformation. So find us there, get involved, and know that there are a lot of our friends already registering, and we're looking for more that can register. Around the country, just to give you a little statistical detail, we have, like the chief said, close to about 5,000 people that have registered already. And while most of them are from Montserrat, there are a lot of them everywhere around the country. And we do have, gender-wise, there are about 27% of female already and about 73% male registering. So we're looking for more of our young women to take advantage of this program as well. We do have different awareness going on, and we're going to ramp that up and ensure that everyone everywhere around the country is aware about this program, know where it will be held at, and can get involved. Thanks again.
So today we actually invited two different institutions, the Liberia Telecommunications Authority and the West African Senior Secondary WAEC. He was attending a meeting on the Ministry of Education, so he came up in late. So our response to the two questions that were asked, and then Pamela will take the remaining questions. Then we'll go through them. We allow him the opportunity to speak for us, make a presentation. If you have questions, then you can also ask. So there were two questions asked for the Ministry of Information. The first one talked about the statement made by the LACC boss this morning on OKFM. Well, as a government, we do appreciate the fact that people are now talking about asset declaration. This asset declaration was a taboo for the last 6 years. I recall very well in 2018, there were protests organized across the country for President Weah to declare his assets. It took me almost 10 months to declare his assets. Today we have a president who, in a matter of how many days, 20 days, went to the LCC and declared his assets. The president has also given a window to officials of government. And that window, I'm told, about July or thereabout, should be closing. So the chairperson of the LCC made a statement which many see to be political. But as a government, we don't encourage the fight against corruption to be political. The LCC, as a sector agency, has a duty to come to every ministry and agency of government to encourage people to declare their assets. Because that's the job they have got to do. From the Ministry of Information, we obtained the forms. They told us that they were trying to update the form to make it more contemporary. They haven't done so. But we try to be in compliance. So the statement that I don't have the data to speak to the data, but she said that the president had made, I showed the president had made over 500 appointments in government. But she said the president had 500 possible. The window is open and there are people declaring their assets on a daily basis. I spoke with a couple of people at the LCC this morning, and we asked them to come here at the ministry to help somebody who are appointed to declare their assets, because you need somebody to advise you how to fill the form and everything. Some of the questions on the form are repetitive, and we need to settle them. They need to vote them, but we still have the window as political appointees. So there's no violation here. Somebody talked about the president's delegation to the US. When we come to say that the government will be an open government and nothing will be held in secret, for the first time in many years, you see the executive manager issued a press statement. And Stevie, you asked the question, so let me read for you what was published by the executive manager. The President of the Republic of Liberia, His Excellency Joseph Waka Sr., will lead the official Liberian delegation to the U.S.-Africa Business Summit scheduled to take place in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas from May 6 to 9, 2024. The summit, which is an annual event, brings together key business and government leaders from across Africa and the United States to hold discussions on enhancing trade and economic partnership. Okay. So, in the central part, it says the delegation accompanying the president includes senior government officials who will participate in various panels and networking events. Their goal is to attract tangible investments and partnership that will contribute significantly to Liberia's economic development. Right? Okay, so they say the president participation. Okay. So they say the official delegation accompanying the president to the United States, Africa Summit is constituted as follows. Honorable Sarah Beslo Yanti, Foreign Minister. Honorable Amin Boda, Minister of Commerce and Industry. Honorable Alexander Nuta, Minister of Agriculture. Honorable William Hay, Minister of Land, Mines and Energy. Honorable Jeremy Pia, Minister of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism. Honorable Jeff Bigo, National Investment Commission Chairman. Honorable Richardson Ndogo, Liberia Telecommunications Corporation Managing Director. Honorable Antoinette Wallo, Acting Chief of Protocol, and Honorable Sir Johnny Senior, Economic Advisor. These are 9 persons. 9 persons. Very small but effective delegation put together by the president of the company to the United States. This question comes from the background that there are people in this country who are doing everything humanly possible in their little corners to make this government to resemble their government. The last time President we have traveled to the United States, we saw a list of 175 people. Just the EPS agent alone took up the whole list. The president delegation. People who are concerned with the summit under consideration. Not people who are going to go to the president and then the next day they go to leave and say, oh, they go to the other state of what's staying in America. And this is how you do business. You don't use the official trade to carry people who got no business there. So everybody who are named here, who are named in the release issued by the executive manager, are people who are concerned with the summit under consideration, officials of government. So to answer your question, there were no 25% on the president delegation. Whatever thing you saw circulating on social media is an evil fabrication of some of the lousy people in the opposition who are got nothing to talk. We're running government. And the way you do it, or to respect your country, is that when you go into this summit, you don't care people who got no business there. So that's the president delegation, 9%, and nothing more.
Yeah, so another question, so just for me to come here to our platform. Another question, just for despite there were circulation for missing that would be more than 25 minutes. Again, the name of the Press and Public Affairs Director at the Executive Mansion, he was not mentioned on the list. He just called Benito, she's part of the delegation, so was that on all sides. Kula Fofana, the press secretary, sorry, name was not mentioned on the list, but she's also part of the delegation. So basically, it was an oversight or something else.
So there are two different issues. What you said was there were 25 people on the president delegation. On the release issued by the mansion here, and from what we have in our possession, there were no 25% there. Right? The president delegation include these 25 officials. Of course, the president has handlers. And the press secretary is one of the persons who handle the president business. Right? Is she there in her official capacity? Yes. Why was she not named in this release? Madam Kula Fofana had departed the country days before this release was issued. Okay? So, when you saw some of our friends arguing, oh, she was denied visa, she was already on her way to the United States of America. But we can't be trivializing the national platform. The president delegation comprises 9 officials of government and nothing more. So there were no 25%. Okay, so we'll take the wire pause for 5 minutes, and then if there's need for questions, we can also ask you questions so that we can conclude the presentation.
Yeah, Minister, 1 minute, sorry. So for Madam Fofana, who's sponsor for trade? Just for clarity. Thank you.
So if somebody goes to the United States in their official capacity as president, just spokesperson, to render service for the country. This morning was speaking OKFM. What's called Fofana? So she's there in her official capacity. She's there in her official capacity. Why she was not named in this press statement, I'm sure because she had already left the country before the statement was issued. Thank you. Good afternoon. We have been quiet. Thank you. Minister kindly permits me to stand on the already established protocols. I will give greetings from the West African Examinations Council. I'm here to inform you that exactly 8 days from now, the candidates in Liberia will be sitting the West African Certificate exam along with their counterparts in the sub-region. Candidates in other countries have already started doing this exam. But the candidates on Liberia will be joining them on the 15th of May. So let me start by giving you the number of candidates that have registered for this exam. For the 2024 West African Certificate exam, we have a total of 50,410 candidates who have registered. And I want to use this opportunity to appreciate the government of Liberia for undertaking the initiative to pay for these candidates. 50,410 candidates from 975 senior high schools in the Republic of Liberia and the Republic of Guinea.
Of this number, of the 975 schools, 790 of those schools are from the private sector. And the 790 schools have a total of 34,993 candidates. So that number represents 69.42% of the total candidate that has come in for this SM. For the private sector, we have 185 schools. So that number, 185, represents 18.97% of the schools that will be in the SM. And in terms of candidature, we have 15,417 candidates, which constitutes 30.58% coming from the public sector. The SM is going to be administered in Liberia from the 15th of May to the 4th of June 2024. And candidates in Liberia will be writing 9 subjects and a total of 24 papers. The first paper is going to start on the 15th of May, and that paper will be English 2. English 2 will be followed by English 1, and then English 3. And the last paper will be written on 24th. And the last test I'm going to take on 24th is economics. I want to inform you that for those of us that are accustomed to the examination that we normally call WAEC, the Liberia Senior High School Certificate exam. At the time we used to administer this exam, the candidates used to sit 2 subjects a day, but WASC is a bit flexible. The candidates do a subject, at least a subject a day, and don't recall any of the 12 days that they will be doing the test, where they will be doing more than 1 subject. So they have some level of flexibility to 1 subject a day, and they have ample time to study for the subject for the next day. So this is the information I want to provide you. I also want to inform you that the Liberia Junior High School Certificate exam will also be administered during the latter part of this month. Junior high students will be doing the test from the 27th and 29th May. And we're also interested to note that the government of Liberia also pays for students only in public schools. Unlike WASC, where the government pays for all students. For the junior high school certificate exam, the government only pays for students in public schools. And the statistics for that exam is as follows. We have a total of 2,050 schools that have registered candidates for this exam. And of that 2,050 schools, we have 46,408 candidates that will be writing this exam. Of this number, 1,576 of the schools are from the private sector, and the total candidates from the private sector is 27,330, while only 474 schools are from the public sector. And the 474 schools register a total of 19,078 candidates. So of the 46,408 candidates that have come in for this exam, the government has paid, or the government is paying for 19,078 candidates. And as I indicated, the junior high students will be doing the exam in 4 subjects. They will take it on the 27th and 29th of May. I also want to quickly, if I can take a question, I also want to indicate that while you have given the statistics, the school tell public versus private, I also want to indicate that both of the students are from Moswale County. So if you have to look at the statistics, that came for instance, for WASC, we have 50,410 candidates. Of the 50,410 candidates throughout the Republic of Liberia and Guinea, you have 31,000 plus candidates in this exam in Moswale County. So both of the educational activities in our country seems to be taking place in Moswale County. On that note, I want to say thank you. And if you have questions, I'll take the questions quickly. Thank you.
All those with questions, please come here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My name is David Tyler. Work for the online radio and television network, Liberia Radio and Television Network. So there's some confusion here, and that needs clarity. Throughout the past 6 years, we've heard that the Liberian government was paying the WAEC fees of students. I guess many Liberians were taken aback to have heard the WAEC government said it has paid 3 point something million against 6 million that the government, the Liberian government owes WAEC. This is the confusion. Was the foreign government paying or was it paid? If it did pay, what did it pay? Why is this government claiming that it's paying WAEC research?
Okay, so my name is Afonso Kalama, and I do write for the People's paper. We have followed over the time the issue of WASC payment. I mean, as claimed by the past administration, and that cover all of the students that were sitting WASC. And then at this time, you're telling us that this administration is responsible, only to pay for government. So what is the reduction? I mean, what's the number? What's the amount of numbers? Students are going to be sitting this WASC. Do you think this have reduced the level of students normally that have been sitting the WASC and writing it?
So let me start with the last answer. Since 2013, the government of Liberia has been paying fees for academics. Since 2013 up to date, at the level of the junior high school certificate, the government has been paying only for students in public school. So you hear us talking about public school students, we are talking about for junior high. This is something that is part of the Educational Act. So this government inherited that and continuing with it. So we're paying for public school students. At the level of WASC, the 12 years the government pays for all since 2013. Since 2013, from 2013 to 2017, we did WASC in Liberia, but we did it on a smaller scale. So we call it pilot again. The government paid. And from 2018 to current, all students, like whether you are from public or you are from private, school, the government has been paying. So you see, I indicated that 410 candidates registered for the SM for 2024. And I want to say that's why I commended the government. I want to say that if it had not been because of the government's intervention, you won't have this number of candidates coming to do this SM. So the government intervention, the government paying for the parents, caused us to achieve or to realize this huge number of candidates doing the SM. In fact, this is the very first time we have up to 50,000 candidates writing the essay. In 2023, we had 49,862 candidates who came in for this SM. This year we have 50,410 candidates. Yeah, even as I speak, there are some schools who are knocking at our doors, indicating to us that they left us from the students. And for me, when I said that beats my imagination, because government is paying, we give each school 650 spaces to register the students. If you have more than 650 students, all you need to do is notify us that I have more than 650, you only give me 650 slots. We give you additional. We give you 650, you took out 20, and you left out 630. Then, at the 11th hour, they come back to us and I can add all those. Oh, we made a mistake. We left out 2 persons. We made a mistake. We left out 5 persons. Don't you know how many persons we have in the 12th grade? And the children were not paying. Now, we are getting information. One of the reasons why, I may not know all of the reasons, but one of the reasons why some of these kids have been left out is because their schools, quote unquote, are tying this into some payments of purchase fees. And because, quote unquote, they did not pay the purchase fees, so they did not register. And so we have made it clear that please don't tie this registration
to purchase feed. I think I answered the two questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That follow-up?
Yeah, follow-up. Stephen Rouse, sir, please, the official here is previous administration claimed that they were paying WAEC fees, right? This government, the new, the Wakale administration came in, and they said the government of Liberia owed WAEC close to 6 billion plus. Can you be able to give us a clarity regarding that amount? Whether how much was the Wakale administration owing or the secular administration owing before the Wakale administration coming in to clear the debt?
Thank you. Yes, the government of Liberia is indebted to WAEC for enough of fees. Previous administration did not pay successively. So the administration before President Selig in the interim period, they did not pay, so that debt accumulated. President Selig inherited, she paid some, she did not pay some, it accumulated. President Biya inherited, he too paid some, and he did not pay some, so it accumulated. So at the time of this administration coming over, the debt stood at 5.5 million. So if you recall, the president talking about 5.5 million debt inherited, that's what he was making reference to. Now for 2024, the due for 2024 is 600 plus thousand. So you add the 600 plus thousand to the 5.5, you get a 6.1 million. Thank you very much.
Well, please, thank you very much for coming. I just wanted to add on to what Mr. Sanders said about asset declaration. And this is for public education. So when the LACC says 500 over 500, public officials have been nominated and appointed by in line 75, only 75 have now declared their assets. We should find out. But what's the bigger reliance for requiring public officials to declare their assets? It's in the Code of Conduct Act, part 10.1. I just want to read that. It says every public official, an employee of government involved in making decisions affecting contracting, tendering and procurement and issuance of licenses of various types shall declare his or her income, assets, and liabilities. So there are two hurdles, operating against direct declaration by officials that are appointed by the president. One is if your functions involve, making decisions. If your functions involve like contracting, tendering, procurement, and issuance of licenses of various types, then you are required, you fall within the category of public officials who are supposed to declare. But not all public officials who are appointed by the president fall in that category. For example, me, I'm an assistant minister for information services. When I look at my terms of reference, I have no right, no power in this ministry to hire anybody. So I'm not sure whether they will be required me to declare my assets or whether I'm included in that 500 people who have not yet declared their assets. The second one is if you are giving your appointment letter by the president, there's nowhere in that letter except other people, maybe other ministers, appointment letter, they get their incomes there. The Code of Conduct is requiring us to declare our income before you take office. But the appointment letter doesn't say what that income associated with that position, what the income is. So it will have to take some time after the appointment, after you take the office, for this information to be available to you and for you to declare. And you can't declare what you don't know. So there are two orders operating against direct declaration. So we hope the LACC will educate the public very well. Not every official appointed by the president falls in the category of those who have the power to hire and contract and do tendering. The second one, if you fall within that category, you need to know your income before you start to declare it. And there is one form. So these are the different models that operate against direct declaration. So we hope we can educate the public, and start, trying to scandalize people and say that people are not declaring their assets. That's basically the education I'm going to provide. Other than that, thank you very much for coming. We appreciate your presence, your energy, your commitment to continue to inform the people of Liberia. And Director Founder, we have the